Welcome to the GLAC Studios oil painting tutorial. This is Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 5 of the Radha Krishna large canvas painting. Let's just recap on what we did in the previous session and then let's continue quickly. We started off with the planning on the large canvas, or understood the large canvas in terms of the centimeters that we have, or how minor differences could be present in the canvas just because of the frame, and how do we measure and so on. We did that. We started plotting, and we also um, started a little bit with the um, sketching as such in some of the grids. And to facilitate you, I was going on mentioning the columns as A, B, C, D, and E and F, and then the rows as 1 through 8. I have also added that in the sheet. I think right now when you're downloading this picture, will definitely have the the printout will definitely have the same coding, so we are talking the same language. So that's what we have done. We just got started with the process. We are going to continue in the session. This is more of what we will do in terms of sketching. So that's going to be today's session. And in terms of material, there is no change with the material. I continue with the same um, burnt umber color, and I haven't taken much. I Whatever I had from the previous session is what I still have, and I don't see the need for um, taking some more. I think I will continue. The brush is zero that I use. A simple store-bought brush. We also did a little bit on tips on cleaning the brush in last class. So I expect that you have it all clean and ready to get started. So we continue on the same line. And this time I have the second camera because though it's just a outline sketching, we are coming close to the face. And possibly we'll do both the faces today to have the faces done in terms of the sketching. So I thought of having this close up camera for you this time, and maybe I will try to bring it to the front so you see more of um, what is coming up in this camera. Yes, so that's what it is. We are ready to roll. Um, so let's look at what we have here. What have we done? Every time I start working on a canvas, restart my work, I would like to check what I have done so far. Is it good or not? So let's check column A. What did we do? We had started with the hand. That's fine. The column A basically has the right hand, and that flows through to column B's row 3. We have more of the cloth coming in here, sort of hiding the shoulder line, but we have it all um, done here. We came down in the column A to work on the knee and also where the foot is. That's what we have done. Yeah, it's not shown in this camera, but it's okay. Today's focus is going to be here, and I think I have the camera rightly placed in the center, and I will adjust it slightly more. Yes, good. So right now we are ready to get started with the face. So I'm going to do something basic. I like to start with the eye. I think I have mentioned it many times now, but I don't want to run into that. I just want you to feel a little comfortable with the whole idea. So let's just think of it as a circle, or yeah, because they have a fully what you call a round face. Both the key characters, Radha and Krishna. Krishna's face is here, and I see where exactly I look for. the points where I have already drawn, or a tipping point or a corner of a grid, and I see that this crosses through, this cheek crosses through the corner of the grid, and I like that idea. So I'll keep that and I see how far it is going. So it's around like this, and it is cutting across the mid of this grid, like this. So I'm not even drawing much because I don't have enough paint. I'm just making a very light stroke. So you cannot possibly see it now, but I will develop it shortly to show you what I'm doing. So I'm just making a kind of uh, um, a circle, not exactly a circle, but kind of the space. So if I were to just develop it slightly a bit, you might see a little more of it. So this is what I do. I have not made the effort to take a little more of the oil to do the details, but I just kind of put in the space. And I'm going to do the same exercise for Radha as well. Where is she? Again, her face is crisscrossing a grid corner here that is helping me. So I'm just placing that and seeing where it is. Hers is mostly, the most part of her face is in D3, A, B, C, D. And let me also do that. So if it helps you, I'm going to name it A, B, C, and D here. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is there. We're not going to worry about it now. So D3 is where the major portion of her face is. So I'm just going to do that. Block the area a little bit and see where I'll work into the details later. Yeah. So I have kind of blocked both the faces. And even at this stage where nothing is clear, I just see the rhythm, of the faces. They are almost hugging each other. They're very close. The intensity, um, is it, showing in these circles. Even at this stage, when we are building, even at this stage, the basics, so it's important that we are able to see some connections there. And that's why I decided that we do both the faces together today. It's going to be slightly intense, so for those who are feeling okay, this is a little too much for me, I would suggest that you take a pause and do it very slowly, and then yeah, and then you might want to revisit. So go back to this video and go back and forth. I try to do it a slightly slower way, just for you all to pick up. And doesn't matter what age group you are in, you should be able to pick up from here. I tried as slowly as possible, but in case you feel even this is slightly stronger for you, do press the pause button at any point that you would like to, and then continue. Yeah. So in here, when I look at this whole circle that I have made, so there are very slight circles I have made, and I look at the angle of where the eyes are. So the eyes are, one of the eyes is right here hitting this line. So I'm just trying to find where exactly that line is, and then trying to kind of map that line. Is this slightly far off, or maybe, yeah, slightly down? So I'm just mapping that line, and I will rub it off. I have, like I said, I have waste tissue papers or earbuds uh, ready with me in case I want to rework anywhere. So I've just drawn the line where the eye will come, and also the place where the lip line is. And can you see the angle? It's right here. That's here. And slightly above it is where the nose is ending. So kind of spotted the angles where I'm going to have the the eye, nose, the tip of the nose, and also the lip. I'm going to do the same exercise here, and I see that the eye line is here, slightly below, but in the same angle. Can you see the angle is almost the same? So I see that. I've done it. And I'm marking a lip line and the nose line. Yeah. So I have some important lines for me to guide through. I'm going to rub off slightly because I want it to be as slight as possible, so I can rework on it. The best thing about oil painting is that you can always rubbed it off slightly. So it's so feeble. You might not see it, but that this is what I want for me to start reworking on this. And another important line that I would like to draw is that the center line of where the the angle is. Yeah. And this is not a center line. Almost you will see in this face, you see the face is almost looking towards you. The angle is really very clear where you can see the whole face. In her case, she is slightly, looking in that angle. So you will have to, it's not a straight line. You will have to really imagine a curve here. Drop a curve here. Yeah. Like this. Dropping a curve here like this. Yeah. So these guiding lines would help you at least to place things properly. If you're able to see these lines, you're getting there somewhere, with the drawing. So right now I'm looking at, okay, that center line that I drew for the face of Krishna. I think I would need the height of it is to be lessened a bit. So it is, okay. Perfect. Let's look at the eye. So from now on, we are going to start working on the base of the eye, nose, and lips. So I see that the eyebrows are here, and there's a slight, bend up there. This eyebrow, slightly on the longer line. So that's where I see the eyebrows. The important sections, I usually tend to draw the end where the eye is, the one that is closer to the nose, and where is it coming to an end to here on the other side. So I have just put 4 dots, dot 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to connect. When I connect, I just get to see, okay, the whole section of the eye I am doing first. That's not how it looks, but it's just the place where the eye socket, everything is, So I'm just doing that. And in that, what is happening? His eyelid is almost, half closed, half open eyelid. That's a beauty. And I think it's I would say this a Krishna style. You will see more of these paintings with that, half closed, half open eyelid. So I'm just trying to do that and draw that. Yes, I have drawn that. And now I want to place the iris, the eyes. Okay. So that's where I see the eye to be. Yeah. Fair enough. No detailing needed. We have the eye. And remember, I said when we work on the eye, I will also shift it slightly in a manner that it looks like he is looking at the audience, that is us. I'll work on that, but not now. I have it in my mind. Hmm? The next thing is that let's come back to the eyes. Let's do the eyes of Radha as well. Where's the eyebrow? The eyebrows, they are not so much equal as the way we saw here because her face is in an angle. So this is like propped up slightly. The other one, that's her left eye is visible to us more as compared to the right, isn't it? So keep that in mind and see where that is going. It's almost close to the grid line. That it's not touching the grid line, but it is. The eyebrows are very close to the grid line on the top. Okay. Her eyes, to the contrary, are comparatively wide open. Very little of the what do you call the eyelid that is visible. So I'm just doing the upper eye first. I love this process. It's intense, but at the same time, this gives me so much of happiness to work on these basics. Okay, so I have it. And where is the yes, we have it back. So we have placed the eye and we are now working on the iris, whichever way you call it. I'm just placing it here. Yeah. Now can we do the nose? I am not too much into building the bones of the nose. I tend to do it when I paint. If you want, you can draw a line, very thin line to show, but I don't see the need of it, at least at this point. I'm just looking at the tip of the nose and making that space for the what do you call the nostrils. That is enough. And over here, I also do the same thing. The tip of the nose and nostrils. Remember this one, you cannot see the other nostril much. There's only one side of it, so there's nothing much to do as such. The lips. The lips, I always teach the children that, remember M, draw an M, but flatten it out as much as possible, as though it's under the M is under a tire or something. Just imagine like that. And it becomes really flat M when somebody is smiling. Yeah, just imagine that. It's a very easy way to. The M, where is the middle of the M? That's right underneath the tip of the nose. So I'm just going to make that, slight little M and make it flatten, make it go up like that, and fill out the upper lip space. The underlip is, you see the smile, isn't it? So you have the smile. Right. So when we do the same thing, this M is really, foreshortened on that side. You cannot see one side of it much, and very less of it on one side. The others you can see. The left side of her you can see a little better, and the underlip. So we have some space done. Yeah, nice. We have crossed that challenge of eyes, nose, and the lip. Not just one, two sets. Yes, that's a good achievement. Yeah. Now can we do the circle that we drew, almost odd circle that we drew. Now it should make a little more meaning. So let's just go around and see how things are. If you want to rub off the midline that you drew, it is okay. Anything that you feel like rubbing off, because that's um try not to rub off the grids yet. Even if you are apprehensive, I want to see the face, I want to see how it looks. Maybe rub it off slightly if you want. If you're too much, getting impatient, wanting to see how the face looks, and you find that it's really irritating, you can. Otherwise, I would advise you not to jump into rubbing off the main grids. Yeah. So right now we are going to look at his hairline. Cannot see much on the top because he's wearing a crown, isn't it? So, and that too, it's coming close to his eyes. And I want to see how the chin or the cheekbone is. And things are ending here. And on this side, yeah, you see, I'm just starting to, block the space without doing much into the details. This is slight bit of hair one can see, uh, that is in between his forehead and the crown. So I'm just filling it in without much of an effort. I am seeing where the forehead and the eye is coming down. It's right here, and then this chin. Yes, we have this, and now we can make the nice curve, yeah, of the face. He looks slightly better, and I want to just fill in slightly on the side the hair that he has behind. Not too much, slightly. And there's one more element, very important element in the body of a human being. We can see his ear, isn't it? His left ear is visible. Where is it usually starting? It's a very good point. The line that we drew for the eye, that's exactly where we start on the side, the ear. Yes. Remember, I always teach my students about drawing very simply. So remember the question mark and try to make that question mark there. It should end. The question mark starts with the eye, ends with the mouth. It's very simple to remember. Yeah, your eye sees some things and you question something. The mouth possibly finds an explanation, an answer to something. Remember like that. So connect the eye and the mouth. The line where we started off with the eye is where the ear starts, and the ear ends almost around the line where the mouth was put in, the lips were put in, isn't it? So I'm just putting in drawing in the space, kind of highlighting the section where, or blocking in the section where the hair is, because there is also hair right behind his ears, and one can see this. There's some hair right behind his ears here. Yeah. All right. Can we do the same thing here? I'm going to connect make her forehead. And remember, she's wearing a jewelry right in between her forehead that is giving us one chance to connect with every object, is just connecting us to something. Where is that located? It's right on the line of this grid. Very lucky. Yeah. These things that are very close to grid lines, they are going to help us. Yeah? So we have managed to put in that space and maybe block in that space where her hair is. Ah, she is starting to look pretty already. Okay, blocking in the space where her hair is here. Fair enough. Let's look at the time. How are we doing? That's also good. I have mentioned already, in case you need more time, take your time. This is where you are testing your understanding of what you see here. Yeah. So take your time. I feel that I am drawing the face slightly more slanted or something. I could adjust if I want, but I'm also liking it. Yeah, it is slightly, as compared to what I have. I can see that I am doing it slightly more to an angle. But then I like this angle as well, so I'm just going to go for it. Okay. And where is her ear? You can always see her left ear, though it is just draped in a lot of accessories that women wear. It's hard to see, but the logic is the same. Starts with the angle of the eye and ends with the angle of the lip. Remember, this was never a straight line. It was also a curvy line. So remember, that's where you end with the ear as well, isn't it? So just think of it as a U because it's a side angle, a flattened U. So we have that, and we have her jewelry here. Just placing something here just for the sake of our understanding. And I see that here there is some jewelry that she's wearing, and I can possibly fill in the space of the hair here. So we have something done here. Can we do the crown? Okay, right on top here, next to where the ear is, there is the side of the crown, and then the crown goes on. Where does it go? It goes really across this. So I'm just seeing on C1, you see the tip of the crown. So I'm just doing that, making rough, curvy lines to build that, impact of the crown. That's where it is. And then we see the other side of the crown in B1 and flowing through to B2. Yeah. cannot see much of it here, but then it comes down here, kind of knocking it off here. So I'm just kind of convinced with the lines. Maybe they are not perfect, but it's okay for me now to go with blocking or yeah, plotting. So I'm okay with it. So I'm just going to go with it, and yeah. So right behind the crown, you see a little more of the hair locks. In his head, there is this mask, and the fancy thing that he wears, everybody loves that, the peacock feather. Without it, he's just incomplete here. Going to make the space for the peacock feather, yeah? That's exactly not one draws a peacock feather. I'm not bothered about it right now because we want to work on the background, and I usually like to do the peacock feather to the last. But then this is the spacing of the peacock feather. Yes, if somebody is really not happy with it, I'm so sorry for that. We'll have to wait for the end of it. Yeah. So that's what we have right now. Okay, let's look at the time. We're still good. We're still good. Yes. Okay. Now the crown of the lady. Radha. Where is she? Right here. Okay. That's where I see that there is some distance between Radha and Krishna created. And I want to see where are things now because of the angles of his hair. And I want to see if that can be filled in properly. Okay, I can see that that's where the crown, one side of the crown is, and then you can see that there is one here. And I want to look at the angles because I've got, this is where the tip of his crown is, and I'm just looking at the angle where it is. It's slightly here. In this angle, I'm just drawing a line here. So if you draw a straight line here, you will see that this is where somewhere the crown comes to an end. So it's got to be slightly more taller than what we have done. So I'm going to just fill in a little more of the space here because her hair lock needs to be a little bit more substantial. So we get some space here. Any other angles that I could have missed? There are flowers here on her hair. So I'm just looking at the other angles where, things could help us identify the spacing of the crown and the proportion of the crown and so on. Yeah. So I'm looking at that and I see that it can be slightly bigger here. So I'm going to come back and make this slightly bigger. Make this go slightly bigger here. Okay, and the curves go on like this, coming behind her ear or going through the back of her head. And then there is this another ring that's kind of going up and coming down like this. And that's the angle which is coming almost parallel to this or slightly less than this. So I have some substance made. Now I'm going to just um, draw them one more time clearly, because I've got too many lines here. Yeah. Drawing them one more time. And in between, one can see a little more of her possibly hair that is tied up a little bit on the top as well. Yeah, one can see that. I'm just going to fill that in. Yes. Now I have to move it a slight bit so I can see what is here. Yeah. In D2, there's still, it's very lightly seen here. I think we will see in the color picture a little more. I'm not opening the color picture yet. I'm just seeing where things are and the space for the flowers or on her hair or something. Yeah. So I've got that covered kind of. I see the face could be a slight bit more on the curvy side. Yeah. This is fair enough for me to work on right now. So can we now go back to the neck? And it's interesting because right now the neck is totally covered with the garland and so on. So we really hardly see the neckline, but there are tips for us to follow, isn't it? So right underneath the ear, you can see that there is a starting point where the flower garland is coming, and I'm talking about C3. So C3, and I see where exactly the garland is flowing through. So one cannot see too much of the neck line per se, but it's kind of suggestive here, and it flows through. This is an interesting one. It is just crossing this grid line, yeah, and coming close to the knot of this grid line. Yeah, I'm just doing that. So I have put in that place, and now right behind is his shoulder. Beautiful thing, and I'm looking for the angle. So though we know where the shoulder is, I'm just looking for the angle. Can you see the angle? It should be really across like this, isn't it? So that's where the angle of the shoulder has to fit in. Is it fitting in with the drawing? Because remember, we are also turning a 3x3 into a 10x10 here every single time we are looking at one grid. So remember that and see where it is. It should be touching her cheek line. So that's exactly where it is, the shoulder is. So we've got that covered. Fantastic. And though we cannot see much of the neck, just looking at the flowers here, the garland, where is it flowing through? Here on the other side. Okay, I think I've got the garland covered. Because of the garland, I can tell that's where the the jewelry in the neck is going to come in. I'm not going to draw all the jewelry, but I will just block the space. Can I do that? Yeah. So I'm just looking at, this is the place where it is starting, but then goes on. This is a vast space that it covers. It almost touches this place, this end of the grid. And then there are so many other elements to the jewelry that's there. So we've got that done. I want to continue with the garland in C. We are in C4 now because we just did the garland. So I want to continue with the garland here. And I will come across that C4 because I can see that it just hits the end of the grid in C. So I'm doing that. Let me just make a slight tilt here so that you can see better. That's where it is. And I say this is where. That end of the garland is. Yes. And what else do we get to see here in the C? Oh, it's a fine portion of his hip that you can see. There is this curve. And I want to see how parallel it is to the chest line, the bust line. Is it really, talking in that angle? This is also a starting point where the hip line is going to be affected, depending on where we put the angle. We have this here. And then the navel around here. I'm actually looking at the angle. Does it match? Yes. Yeah, the navel around here. Yes, fair enough. We've got that. And now we are ready to work on a little bit on the neckline of the lady. I'm going to start with the area where I had worked. So around her jewelry on the ears, we can see the garland is starting. So I will just work on that. And it's almost touching the end of this. So I am doing the garland first. That is kind of giving me the border lines that I will be working on. Then it helps me go near the neck. So I did that here. When I do that, and I can see that right underneath that is there's another kind of thin garland coming out. So I'm just going to draw that space here, not too much into the details. So there's another garland that's coming out. One can see. So after that, one can start seeing the jewelry on her neck. That's where it is starting to define her neck a little bit. And it's coming down like this, slightly like this. And it goes up right underneath her chin. And that's where the neckline is. You can see that there is garland coming from this side as well. Going to do that here. Okay. There we go. Let's look at the time. How are we doing? Good enough. Do we bring the garlands down for her as well? Can do that. I want to see where this side of the garland is going. It's almost touching the corner of this grid. So it's like this. We are in D4. I'm looking at the other side of the garland. I'm seeing where exactly it is going. It's also flowing through like that. Yeah. And going here. Not too much bothered about the details. Just placing things right now, isn't it? And I'm looking at the rest of the garland from Krishna's neck. That's also flowing through in this D. Doesn't show much, but it is existing there. Yeah. In between all this garland fancy, you can see her bust line. Yeah. Right here. It's in the, actually that is in the D4. That one can see. It's also there. And then her hip line angle. This angle slightly, what do you call, unclear, even after the printout that we made in black and white, but still it's okay. For now we have the angle kind of covered. That's enough. And when we work on the details, we will see a little more into defining it better, or yeah, somehow it is mixed up, definitely. So we come to the shoulder of the lady. So I'm going to move the camera slightly to this side. Placing it's on her face right now, but it is helpful for me to see where the shoulder is. So this is the angle, isn't it? So you will see that this is exactly her shoulder line. So if you look at the shoulder line of Krishna, he is in this angle, and this shoulder line of Radha is in this angle. It makes a V. If you want to draw it, you can draw it, but yeah, it makes a V. And I get to see that here, and that's convincing for me to see where things are here for me. And her hand is lowered. It's not, heaped up. The shoulder is not heaped up. It's lowered because she is holding the rope of the swing, yeah, in this way. And what is covering her shoulder is the drape of her sari. So I'm just doing the drape of her sari and seeing where it is ending, almost to the middle of this line. And then I just see the drape of her sari. Where is it going? It's going this way down. Yes. And that gives the spacing where her arm is. And right underneath his, I can see the armpit and where the hand is coming out. So that's where we are. And I think it is a good point for us to just summarize where we are and make a stop and see, because it's been an intense 1 hour for us. Yes, just to summarize what we have done, we started off today as a continuation from the last class, doing first of all doing the circles where the faces have to come, eye line, nose line, the lip line, and we also use that to draw these elements. Once we are done, the face we try to restructure. We did the ear and also moved up onto the head where we see some accessories, the crown, and so on the key characters are wearing. And we came down a little bit, defining with the help of the garland. We defined a little bit on the neckline and the angles of the neckline, the shoulder line, and so on. So we have done that far. So this is where we make a stop and review what we did. If you have gotten this far, this is a very intense episode, intense class. So I'm so happy that you are trying this. Do review what you have done, and if you want to rework on the angles, like I said, some key angles, the 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 V of the shoulder that you will have to see, the shoulder line here, and where it ends, you will see the shoulder line of the woman coming here. Yeah, so it's not a perfect V, but you will see that, taking off going. So check out for all these things before you resume with the next class. Thank you very much for being with me, and let's meet in the next class to come back to working on some more of the sketching.